Hello, hello everyone, and welcome to Storytime at the Goochland branch. My name is Miss Tracy, and today I have some fun books about frogs for you. But before we get into that, let's start with our opening song called Mr. Sun. If you know it, you sing it along with me, okay? But we're going to make a big ball of sunshine, and it's going to shine down on us. Okay, let's do it. Oh, Mr. Sun, Sun, Mr. Golden Sun, please shine down on me. Oh, Mr. Sun, Sun, Mr. Golden Sun, hiding behind a tree. These little children are asking you to please come out so they can play with you. Oh, Mr. Sun, Sun, Mr. Golden Sun, please shine down on, please shine down on, please shine down on me. Very good. Okay, before I read the first book, we're going to do a little rhyme called The Little Clapping Mouse. The little mouse is hiding under the house. And I'm going to say a phrase, and then we're going to clap 2 times. So you do it with me. Get your hands ready. 1, 2. 1, 2. All right. We'll do it a couple of times. So when you catch on, you do it with me, okay? Behind the tree and under the house, there lived a teeny, tiny mouse. She liked to sing, she liked to tap, but most of all, she liked to clap. She clapped all night, she clapped all day, she clapped to frighten the mouse away. Good job. All right, do you think you can do it with me? All right, get your hands ready. Here we go. Behind the tree and under the house, there lived a teeny, tiny mouse. She liked to sing, she liked to tap, but most of all, she liked to clap. She clapped all night, she clapped all day, she clapped to frighten the mouse away. Very good. Okay. So I told you we're going to read some books about frogs today. I don't know what you know about frogs, but I pulled a book out of our nonfiction section to find out a little bit and see what I remembered about frogs. So the frog has these big bulging eyes, better to see all the flies he wants to catch. And of course, frogs jump. One of the things I found out in this book is that a bullfrog can jump up to 6 feet. That's pretty far. So another really fun thing about frogs is that they have this really long, sticky tongue, and that is how they catch all the bugs that they like to eat. And the thing that I'm going to tell you about in our first book is about how a frog starts its life. It's not born a frog, it's born a tadpole. And a tadpole doesn't have legs. It actually has a tail. And it looks a little bit more like a fish than actually a frog does. So let's read our first book. This book, the title is Tad. It's by Benji Davies, and the publisher is HarperCollins. Tad. Sometimes the biggest stories have the smallest beginnings. Tad was a frog. Well, that's not quite true. She was almost a frog. Tad was small. Smaller than her Tad brothers, smaller than her Tad sisters. Tad was the smallest, almost a frog in the whole wide pond. She was so small that she had to wiggle her tail twice as fast as any of the others just to keep up. Keep up, they would say, or Big Blub will get you. Tad had never seen Big Blub. Big Blub, they said, was a great, big, nasty fish. Big Blub swam in the deep, dark, murky part of the pond. He was as old as mud, they said. He would wait till the sun went behind the clouds, till the whole pond was gray. Then he would glide out from the dark patches and gulp. No, no. Tad did not want to know. She decided to not believe in Big Blub. But just in case, she kept to the shallow, sunny parts of the pond where Big Blub could not get her. And when the sun went behind the clouds, she carefully hid behind the plants and in the rocks, hoping that Big Blub would not find her. Day by day, the tadpoles grew. They grew back legs, then front legs. They grew webbed toes. Their legs grew longer. Their legs grew stronger. Stretching their forelegs as wide as they could, they felt like they wanted to climb out of the pond. They rushed into the shallow water quicker than you or I can blink. Swoosh, wiggle, swish, swish, wiggle, swoosh. Their tails got smaller and smaller until they no longer had tails at all. We've lost our tails, we've lost our tails, they cheered. All except for Tad. See, Tad still has her tail. Every night they would find a big leaf and curl up together. But as the nights passed, Tad noticed fewer and fewer tadpoles to curl up with. Each night, Tad counted her tad brothers and tad sisters. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3. Where had they all gone? She didn't like to think. See Big Blub? Tad played in the shallows with her last tad brother and her last tad sister. You can't catch us, Big Blub, her last tad sister called out into the shadows. But soon there were just two. It seems there are fewer of us than before, don't you think? Said Tad to her last tad brother. And then there was only one. But she was strong and she was clever and she knew the best hiding places. Big Blub would never catch her. Oh no, Big Blub! Tad swam faster than she had ever swum before. Then Tad did something she had never done before. She swam up and up and up and up. Big Blub sank back to the deep, dark, murky part of the pond, back to the mud where he belonged. Tad climbed up onto a rock, her big round eyes blinking at the bright sky. It felt good to be out of the water. I've lost my tail, I've lost my tail, she sang. Tad was a frog. She had a funny feeling, a twist in her belly, spreading out to the ends of her toes. She coiled up tight like a spring and jumped. There she goes. I don't know about you, but I am so glad that Big Blub didn't get Tad. Okay, next up, you see on my board here, I have some fish. I have one red fish, 1, 2 blue fish, and count them with me. 1, 2, 3 yellow fish. We're going to do a song called Bubble, Bubble, Pop. So we're going to do that like this. Bubble, 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 pop. Okay. So it goes like this. We're going to start with a red fish. We're going to make a little fish with our hands, and he's going to swim in the water. All right, here we go. One little red fish swimming in the water, swimming in the water, swimming in the water. One little red fish swimming in the water, bubble, 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 pop. Good. Okay, now we're going to do 1, 2, blue fish. Get your fish ready. Okay, here we go. 2 little blue fish swimming in the water, swimming in the water, swimming in the water. 2 little blue fish swimming in the water, bubble, 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 pop. Good. All right, last, let's count them. 1, 2, 3. 3 yellow fish. Okay, get your little fish ready. Here we go. 3 little yellow fish swimming in the water, swimming in the water, swimming in the water. 3 little yellow fish swimming in the water, bubble, 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 pop. Very good. Okay, I'm so excited to share this next book with you. You'll find out in a minute. It's a really fun book. This book is The Wide-Mouthed Frog by Keith Faulkner, and it's illustrated by Jonathan Lambert. Let's see what happens to the wide-mouthed frog. The wide-mouthed frog. I'm a wide-mouthed frog, and I eat flies, said the wide-mouthed frog, shooting out his long, sticky tongue. As he hopped along, he met a blue feathered bird. I'm a wide-mouthed frog, and I eat flies, said the wide-mouthed frog. What do you eat, bird? I eat wriggly worms and slugs, replied the bird, snapping his pointy beak. Next, the wide-mouthed frog met a furry brown mouse. I'm a wide-mouthed frog, and I eat flies, said the wide-mouthed frog. What do you eat, mouse? I eat crunchy seeds and juicy berries, replied the mouse, wriggling her whiskers. The wide-mouthed frog was still catching flies when he saw a big green alligator. I'm a wide-mouthed frog, and I eat flies, said the wide-mouthed frog. What do you eat, alligator? I eat delicious wide-mouthed frogs, replied the alligator, showing his sharp white teeth. The wide-mouthed frog stopped catching flies and gulped. Then he puckered his lips and made his mouth as small as possible. Ooh, you don't see many of them around, do you? He said, and he leaped into the pond with a splash. Don't you just love the last page on that? Splash. I wondered if that wide-mouthed frog learned to keep his mouth a little closed. All right. Thank you so much for joining me today. I hope you liked those books. Before I leave, I have a little craft that maybe you want to try at home. I have a frog that is just a coloring page that I found, and I colored it. And then this is the fun part. Are you ready? This is a party blower. We're going to put it in his mouth. All right, watch. Isn't that cute? You can catch all kinds of flies with that long, sticky tongue, right? So you can make this at home. Just find or draw a picture of a frog. And these little party blowers are easy to find at the dollar store. Okay, we are going to do our closing song, which is Goodbye Friends. We're going to do a little bit of sign language. We're going to wave goodbye, and friends will hug our fingers like this. And then it's time to say goodbye. All right, do it with me. Goodbye, friends. Goodbye. Thank you so much for being with me. I will see you next time. Bye-bye.